What's up, guys? Welcome to Newswave. My name is John. There's a lot of stuff going on in the gaming world today, so we're just going to get started. Now, we've talked about Zelda Breath of the Wild speedruns like crazy, mostly speedrunning the game in the fastest amount of time, so going from the beginning to defeating Ganon and saving the kingdom. But in this case, there's always that select few who want to do what they assume to be the crazy, and that is complete the entire game from 0 to 100%. That means all shrines, all weapons, everything. Everything. You get everything that is doable in the game, almost like how the completionists would do it, just you have a certain amount of time to do it, and they do it as fast as possible. In this case, a speedrunner by the name of Zalika went ahead and undertook that entire task, went from 0 to 100% in 49 hours. They streamed the entire thing, recorded it, so you could technically watch it still, but it was 49 hours, and that is some serious endurance right there to go from 0 to 100% in Zelda, and not only getting beaten down for 49 hours, obviously, because the game's difficult in the first place, but you are streaming, you are recording. I assume it's very difficult to do things like use the bathroom or eat. You are pretty much locked in, and you are just going for that record. And you know what? They did it. 49 hours, to me, that's pretty good for the game, to get a game that massive done that quickly. Obviously, they know where all the shrines are. They know where everything is to get it all done. And that is some impressive stuff. I think most of us are 49 hours in, and we've seen, you know, like 30 shrines or something, because we keep exploring everywhere, and this person is just 100% the whole thing in that time. In other news, Sony is finally upgrading the hard drive in the PS4 Slim. The PS4 has needed this upgrade forever. I mean, really, after the first year, it needed this upgrade. A lot of people bought the PS4 and like a month later upgraded the hard drive to 1 terabyte, and that's what they're doing. They're taking all of the now produced PS4 Slims, and instead of putting a 500 gig hard drive in there, they're putting a 1 terabyte in. And they're also not changing the price at all. It's still going to be $299.99 online, in stores. And again, the 500 gig hard drive, while it sounds like a lot, when you get into games like, for example, Call of Duty, where it takes up over 100 gigs of data when you download everything, the map packs, the remasters, and it gets ridiculous at times. And you know what? The terabyte at this point for games that need to install everything, 1 terabyte is pretty much the minimum at this point. Now, the nice thing about the PS4, obviously, is they added your external hard drive support. So if you don't have the ability to get that 1 terabyte and you already have a system, you could just get an external, plug it in, and you're good to go that way too. That supports up to 8 terabytes through a USB 3.0 port with the USB 3.0 hard drive. So that's good too. It's just nice to know if you go out and get a PS4 now, you're not going to be shortchanged with a 500 gig hard drive for $300. You'll at least get a 1 terabyte. And in the latest announcement from Bandai Namco, this was in Famitsu magazine the other day, they came out and said Code Vein, which is a new game that's going to be shipping and coming out next year in 2018 at some point, is going to be a new game made by the people who've done God Eater, for example, and it's going to revolve around like supernatural vampires that have super abilities, and it's a hard-style action RPG dungeon crawling game. Now, the worldwide reveal trailer is set for the 20th, so tomorrow, but it seems like a cool idea. See, again, when you get into these unique type games, I'm more interested in those than seeing another military shooter or something like that. Now, the God Eater team is very imaginative with their stuff. I'm very curious to see what they're going to do with something like a vampire RPG where you crawl, where it's like a dungeon crawler. I think there's a lot of potential there. I need to see what the gameplay and the visuals and how it looks. I would hope that they would tackle it in more of a, I don't want to say cel-shaded, but a little more like a Persona-style look, since a game like that is obviously not supposed to be realistic in general. So why go with a realistic look when you could do something cool and artsy with like a Persona-type look? But again, that's up to them. We'll see what they want to do with the visuals, with the atmosphere and the styling. And I mean, it seems cool. I'll at least check out the trailer, and then I guess we'll see what we have after that. And in what was one of the most aggravating streams I've ever seen from a business, a professional company, Minecraft was showcased on the Switch by, again, this sounds weird, Microsoft, because they own Minecraft. It was showcased on a stream, even on Beam, for example, which is owned by Microsoft. Gets kind of odd there, obviously, but overall, they did what was one of the most aggravating streams I've ever seen. The audio didn't work for a good chunk of the beginning. They couldn't get direct footage to work with the Switch and their streaming device, which isn't that difficult considering myself and other YouTubers stream with the Switch all the time. Anyway, they showed us footage of the Switch playing Minecraft off camera, of course, because they had to put a camera on the Switch. Again, it was very awkward overall, but they also gave us a bunch of details about it, which sounded very interesting. So we already know that it has like co-op feature to it, where you and another person can split up Joy-Cons, like you would assume to be able to do with the Switch, and play in tabletop mode, which would probably get a little close, but on screen it makes a lot of sense. They also gave us information about the world size. This will be 3072 by 3072, which is larger than the Wii U by 13 times, actually. But it's still not as large as the PS4 and the Xbox One. It has this interesting like middle ground where it'll fall in there. It's going to run it at 60 frames per second, and it will do so in portable mode, and as far as we can know, docked mode as well. I assume it will run at 1080p in docked mode, and then obviously 720p when it is taken off of the dock and moved around. But overall, it seems like it's going to be a good version of Minecraft. It's definitely going to be the strongest portable version of Minecraft, considering the Vita version ran at like 25 frames a second or something, really very choppy, not smooth at all. And here's the Switch, 60 frames, a pretty large world. They did say all of your stuff from the Wii U version will transfer over to the Switch version, which is great because I'm sure there's a lot of people who played it on the Wii U that don't want to lose their stuff. Well, you can transfer it over according to them, so that's great. But overall, I think it'll be the best portable version of Minecraft, and it'll come in, you know, right in between obviously the older generation ones and the PS4 and Xbox One version. Not 100% sure why the world size is smaller. It might be because of the RAM limitations compared to the PS4 and the Xbox One. It's also a very CPU intensive game, which may play a factor as well. But overall, you'll still have a pretty large area to build in, just not as big as the PS4 and the Xbox One. Keep in mind though, you cannot take the PS4 and the Xbox One and play it on the go, on a bus or train or something, so there is also that advantage with the Switch. But it's still a good version, it sounds like. We'll have to see. I'm sure there'll be a lot of frame rate comparisons and stuff going forward when it comes out. And we'll know a little more when we actually get direct feed footage, which we should have had yesterday anyway, but what can you do, right? And the Siberia 3 trailer came out. This is the launch trailer. Came out the other day, and it's interesting, I'll say that. Now, I've been interested in the Siberia 3 game for a little while now, considering it was coming to the Switch, because I kind of caught that when they showed all of those games coming out, along with Steep, which was very interesting. And the reason it caught my eye is because it's going to be cross-platform with pretty much everything. PS4, Xbox One, Windows, and the Switch, of course. And when I saw that, I was like, that's interesting. I remember the older Siberia games. It could be cool. I see the trailer, and it's very interesting. Here, you know what? Let me just show you a quick snippet of it.
Today, I'm just trying to help them.
Kate Walker will always represent a problem for us.
I will do what it takes, Colonel. So
the lip syncing is not good. It's comically bad. Now, will that mean that the rest of the game is bad? No, not necessarily. It's just, it looks like it's an odd thing that they probably could have ironed out well before the game came out, or at least fixed it while in development. Now, the game itself, when you watch the full trailer, it looks kind of imaginative. It looks like there's a lot of stuff going on there with unique characters, but the lip syncing thing is going to bother me, and I'm sure others. Now, I will give the game a chance, of course, whether it's on the Switch or the PS4 or my PC, but I don't have high expectations after seeing some of this trailer, but maybe you're a fan of Siberia, the older ones, and you want to try this new one out. That's great. It is out tomorrow, the 20th. As far as I can tell, it seems that way for everything, although I haven't heard anything really about the Switch. I assume it's the same day. At least that's what's listed like online. Speaking of the Switch, update 2.2.0 came out, and I wasn't really going to talk about it because it doesn't seem to do much. It's a stability update. Again, there's no real obvious reason for it other than maybe to fix up some menu transitions or just underlying bug checks and stuff. Maybe it helps to smooth out those issues where when you're playing a game, it says like this game has stopped due to an error. It might just be them refining the operating system. There's really not much else to say other than that, but if you have not received that update, go back online. It should prompt you for it and you'll be updated to 2.2.0. And the last bit of news comes from AMD and ATI. They released a very interesting line of video cards the other day, and reviewers and everyone got on board, checked it out, and they were pretty much left with what we all thought it was going to be. So the new line is the RX 580 and the RX 570, and I think a lot of people were excited when they started hearing rumors and murmurs of this a couple months ago, because we were all thinking, oh, it's going to be Vega, right? It's going to be the Vega GPUs that are coming out. And here are these new cards that come out. It's like, oh, the 570 and the 580, this is going to be great. And then they look down the fact sheet and it's still Polaris, the crowd goes mild. I think most of us are all waiting for Vega at this point to figure out if we should buy something from the green team or the red team, but AMD is just clearly not ready with this Vega line yet. So we get the 570 and 580, which is a slight improvement over the RX 470 and RX 480. Of course, a lot of people were unlocking CUs in the 470, which are those compute units we've talked about before. So they unlocked them fine in the 570. The 580, again, is more a frequency boost over the 480. And realistically, there's not a lot of difference between them. Nothing that would make me say, hey, upgrade from your 480 or your 470, considering we're all just waiting for this next Vega line to come out. But go take a look at the benchmarks, see what you think. I know there's a lot of people right now who are sitting on their RX 2 series cards and they're just waiting for Vega, and a lot of people are going to get really impatient and they're going to go out and buy a 580 or a 570. And maybe that's their idea, is to hold fans off. But I just don't know who these cards are for, because if you have a 470 and 480, you're not going to buy it. You're going to wait for Vega. If you're like me, who's trying to figure out, do I go with a 1070 or do I wait to see these Vega cards? Because even if I don't want AMD or ATI, the NVIDIA cards are sure to fall in price if Vega beats them with a better price and better performance, or similar performance with better price. So I feel like I'm stuck in the middle, and I'm sure a lot of other gamers who are thinking of upgrading video cards are as well. I just hope Vega comes out soon, because I'm starting to get impatient. I guess I might just end up with a 1070 sooner than I'd like to, because I want to play some of these games at high settings and everything, and get good 60 frames out of my 1080p monitor, which that should become a 1440p monitor if I have 1070, right? That's besides the fact. I need Vega to come out so I can compare and contrast. I don't need another Polaris line. AMD and ATI, please get this done so we can see what the next generation of video cards are. And that's it for Newswave today, guys. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let me know if you got anything we talked about today, whether it's that Zelda Breath of the Wild speedrun, which looks pretty ridiculous if you ask me, or Minecraft on the Switch. Maybe you're excited to be able to take a full-fledged Minecraft game on the go. I know we had the Vita version, which I've already talked about. Frame rates were pretty bad. We have the Pocket Edition, which is still obviously not as good as the full-fledged versions that you can get on the PC, or even in this case, the Xbox One and the PS4. Let me know what you think about, of course, the RX4, the 580 and the 570. I'm still waiting for Vega. I need Vega to come out, like I said, and hopefully it's soon. We keep hearing 2017, 2017, 2017, and we're still sitting here without them. So let me know what you guys think down below. I will see you next time.